Hey everyone, today I am back in Lost Ark to do a little bit of show and tell when it comes down to the new Paradise content. Now, first of all, to access the content, you have two ways to go about it. Either you can just run up to the NPC right here and just click on it, and there's also an exchange NPC, which I'll talk about in just a second. Or alternatively, you go to the Alt Q menu and you can see Paradise down here as well, and this will also bring up the menu. Now, Paradise itself has three different aspects to it. We have Elysian, which is a Chaos Dungeon style content, which I'll showcase everything that you need to see in just a second as well. Then you have Crucible, which is a boss fight, and then you have Hell, which is sort of like a deep dungeon. Now, Hell will not be accessible for all of your characters this week, because Hell keys are obtained through a weekly ranking system from Crucible. So if I click on ranking info right here, you can see in this chest there are Hell keys, and you need these keys in order to enter the Hell content. The way it works is very simple though. You literally just put in your key, you enter, and then you just go down different floors, different encounters. Every time you clear an encounter, you go down a new set of floors. You just try and go as deep as possible. It's kind of RNG how deep you can go, because there's only 5 encounters that you get to do. And if the game decides to let you go down like 1 floor, 2 floors, 5 floors or something, you're not going to go very deep. But if the game decides to be generous and be like 20 floors, 30 floors, 40 floors, then you're going to go way deeper, of course. So it's kind of RNG how deep you can get. The deepest I've got was 70 floors on my main, for example, this week. But yeah, it kind of comes down to RNG. Now, the first thing that you want to do though, when you get into this content, is you want to start with Elysian. And the reason why you want to do that is because of this gear. You can see that I have my current Paradise power over here, almost 95,000. And that has to do with the gear that I have equipped here. Nothing that you have outside of Paradise matters inside. So when I open up my character screen, my item level doesn't matter, accessories, engravings, gems. The arc passives do not apply here either. So for certain classes, you might actually want to change your build a little bit, because certain things just will not really function in there. So you might need to tweak your skill build a little bit. But that's the only thing you need to do. Like, you only need to care about your skills. Anything else does not apply inside of Paradise, because all of your strength is coming from this system right here. And you can see that there are things like crit rate, hyper awakening technique cooldown reduction, normal cooldown reduction, damage to foes. This is, for example, giving you some specialty meter bonuses, etc. So all of the strength from Paradise comes from this gear. So how do you get it? Well, we get it from doing Elysian. So that's what I'll do real quick. I'm going to just go into level 3 because that's the highest I have available to me. I'm going to click enter, and then we are essentially going to be doing a mini chaos dungeon that takes like a minute to clear. It has 3 different waves. So I'm just going to quickly clear out the mobs right here. And then we have some elites in the second wave, which, well, even though they're elites, they die quite quickly. And then on the final wave, that is where we have our boss enemy, which again, it all dies really quickly, and then there we go. I have now cleared out Elysian. Now, doing so gave me a couple of things. The first thing is it gave me a Crucible key. So now I can go and do Crucible, that boss fight mode. The other thing that it gave me is it gave me some gear. So you again can go to Paradise over here, and you can see that this is now the gear that I just got from running Elysian. Unfortunately enough, none of this is an upgrade to what I currently have, so I don't have to go and equip it, because as you can see I can just equip it here, but it tells me this item is better than what I currently have equipped, so I will just equip that back on there. And I go to material extraction, and I'm just going to put all of these items in here because they're not useful for me anymore. Now, using material extraction will give me resonance stones. These resonance stones are used to restore your gear. So these levels have to do with different levels of stones. Now, I'm going to try and get this one up because this gives me 10% cooldown reduction, which is kind of nice. Or actually, I'm going to go with the crit rate. So I'm going to try and upgrade this one. I have a 70% chance to do so. Apply restoration. I failed, so unfortunately enough, I didn't really get anything out of that run just yet. But just try enough times and eventually you will be leveling up your gear. Now, after you've made yourself as strong as possible by equipping all of the gear that you have here and then using restoration on upgrading the levels as much as possible, we are now going to go to Crucible because we just got a Crucible ticket. Again, you click on the highest difficulty available and then you just go in. And now we have 1 minute to go and beat a boss. Now, the first time you do these bosses, there are also first time rewards, but you can farm these bosses to try and go for a ranking. This is something that I'll talk about more in just a bit, because that's how you will get your hell keys. So over here, I'm gonna go and try and kill the boss as soon as I can. And then there we go, the boss is dead. And as you can see, I managed to get into the top 6 of fastest clears, which is actually really good, because that's going to give me a bunch of rewards. Now, as you can see as well down here, progression reward, this is what you will get the first time around. If you're not strong enough to immediately beat the boss, you can still get these rewards as you progress through the boss. As you can see, like you get some honing materials, if it actually wants to show, it doesn't want to show. Some silver, you can also get some more items to upgrade your paradise gear. An extra Elysian attempt, so you can drop more gear. And then at the end, you also get some honing materials and an orb. The orb is only for level 3 and some other levels that we go down later down as well. Now, what do you do with Crucible? Well, this is how you're able to get into Hell. So you can see over here your current ranking, and I think it might need a daily reset or something to update this, because I did just get rank 6% or like top 6%. But you can click on ranking info, you can see your reward over here. So if this is my ranking at the end of the week, I will gain 1 purple hell key and 2 blue hell keys on weekly reset. You can also click on the rewards preview to see what rewards you will get for each tier. And as you can see, this is the main way on how you are going to be obtaining these hell keys. Now, when you got a hell key, you just click on hell, you enter the key, you enter over here, and then you just go down the different floors. And at the end of the content, you can then choose 1 out of 3 rewards. It can be things like honing materials, bracelets, accessories, those kind of things. Just pick the reward that is best for you right now. I am probably just going to be choosing honing materials for most of my characters, or I have fusion materials or something like that. But that is essentially how you get your hell keys. You go into Crucible. If you don't want to bother going for rankings, literally just clear it once. If you've done it once, you get 3 normal hell keys. You can use those and then you can go from there. So that's basically what you're going to be doing every week. You go into Elysian, you clear the highest level 5 times because you have 5 weekly attempts. You use all of the gear that you got from Elysium to make yourself as strong as possible. You go into Crucible, you fight the highest level boss available to get as many points as possible, or like highest ranking as possible. If you're not worried about your ranking, then just clear it once and then go from there. And then at weekly reset, you get your hell keys so that you can go and do hell to get your big rewards, because this is where the main rewards from this system are going to come in from. And that's basically how all of this works. Now, one last thing before I end the video is this exchange NPC over here. So there are a couple of things that you can change here. For example, hell keys. These you can buy once per account. So I've already bought the 1681 on my main, for example. But these are a one-time purchase, so be careful to not just instant buy all of these on a character that might not need them, because once you bought them, they're gone. You can also buy Crucible challenge tickets if you're willing to try and push your ranking as high as possible. And then over here with exchange, all of the materials that you have as leftovers, like for example, I can't really make use of the grays and the greens anymore because everything is already level 4, and this will maximum get me up to level 4. So I can just go and exchange these for Paradise Essence. And then over here, I can use my Paradise Essence to again buy Crucible tickets, or what's probably going to be better, buy Elysian +1 attempt keys as well. And that is basically all there is to this content. You just go over here, you go in, you clear level 1 Elysian, upgrade your gear as much as possible, switch off the Crucible, clear the level 1 boss. Once you beat the level 1 boss completely, you can go back to Elysian and now clear level 2 Elysian, upgrade your gear again, go back to Crucible level 2, beat the boss over here. Now Elysian level 3 opens up, clear Elysian level 3, upgrade your gear, go to Crucible level 3, beat the boss, and then you're basically done for this week. Once weekly reset rolls around next week, Elysian level 4 and also the level 4 boss will open up, so then you can just run Elysian level 4 5 times. Upgrade your gear as much as possible, come to Crucible, clear out the level 4 boss. If you want to push your rankings, go for it. If not, then just leave the content alone for the rest of the week and just wait for your hell keys to come in at the next weekly reset. Run your 3 hell runs, and then that's basically that. So pretty simple and straightforward once you just play around with it for a couple of minutes. It's really nice that you don't really need any gear either outside of this. So if you have a fresh character that has nothing, you're going to be just as strong as somebody that's like 1700 max engravings, like gems, whatever. You're just as strong as those other guys. It just comes down to RNG a little bit in the first few weeks. For Crucible rankings, like if you're not lucky like I did with this thing, for example, then don't even bother going for rankings right now. But eventually, as like the later floors open up, because it goes all the way to level 10, eventually gear will equalize a little bit more, and then you'll probably be able to try and aim for those high rankings. But right now in the first week, just clear it and see how far you can get. If you're lucky with RNG, you could try and go for your ranking a little bit more. But if not, like most of my characters just have green and blue gear, like they have no chance to get into like the top 50% even. So I just clear the boss and I'll just take my 3 hell keys on weekly reset. And that's basically how this content works. If you have any more questions about it, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll definitely get back to you. But for now, I want to thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.